Is it
Okay.
is it the same as this one, or is a different content?
Well, I don't know which one you've seen, but basically, as far as I understand, there are different courses. There was the course that started sometime in May, which is where we see the whole book of the Lawyer's English Language course book. And then you see it on the 20th or 21st, I can't remember, of November for the
That one.
TOLES exam. Yes. So that's
Uh-huh.
one course. Some of the students that you have here, for example, Cecilia and Diana, that I'll see that they're there, they are sitting for that course. And then what they did, the Colegio de Abogados, is some of the units have been sold as different courses. And that's why, for example, we had one on modern letter writing, which happened, and there's one of the ladies that then took on this additional course, which is business and company law, which are basically the units related in the book to business and company law, if it makes sense.
Yes, but it does make sense. But this is from the UBA, de la Universidad de Buenos Aires, Facultad de Derecho, not from the colegio.
Ah, Universidad de Buenos Aires?
Yes.
I'm not doing that course with them at the moment.
And then read your name.
Really?
It's a fake. No, I mean, it's true.
No, we did it.
They're
I did
cloning you.
before with my name.
Yes. Well, I take a picture next time and send it to you.
Yeah, if you can send it to me, it would be great, to be honest. I didn't know, to be honest. I would like to know about it. No, I did it in
It will
the
be faked by
Universidad. I
IA.
did it in the University of La Plata, in the posgrado. We did it at one time as well, and the Colegio Público de Abogados de La Plata también. We did it, and then privately. But I haven't done it with the UBA. So I would be very keen to know a bit more about it, to be honest.
Okay.
Anyway, any other questions? No? Okay. So let's move on to Unit 9, yes, of the book. It's the language of company law. Remember, we saw the different types in which you can run, trade or do a business in the UK, which was sole trader, yes, which is an unincorporated business. Then we saw limited liability partnerships. We saw partnerships. We saw companies, yes, private limited companies and public limited companies, yes, and the characteristics of each of them. Okay, so moving on to company law. Yeah, now who runs a company in Argentina?
The board.
The shareholders?
The shareholders run it?
No, the board.
No.
The board,
Yes.
the board of directors. Well done, Javier. The shareholders, it's a bit confusing. They are the owners, yes, because they hold the shares, yes, but they appoint, yes, once a year, what we call the AGM, the annual general meeting, yes, or in an extraordinary general meeting, EGM, the directors, yes, and they appoint generally the auditors and so on once a year, and then they renewed, their authority, if you want, or they appoint new ones. If the directors don't bring many dividends, probably the shareholders might change the directors so that they got one that makes more money from the company and actually then pays the dividend. That's what they're after. That would be the return on their investment. Yes? Does it make sense? Yes. So we'll see the key vocabulary here. Yes. Who runs a company? Exercise 1. It says Jessica Ryder is a law student at the University of Chatsworth. She must write.
Sorry, Federico, to interrupt you. Can
Yes?
you indicate which page you are?
It's Unit 9. It's in one book, page 327, where it starts Unit 9, and in the other book.
Yeah, that's true.
170.
There you go, 170.
Sorry. for the interruption.
100
No worries.
170, Federico.
Indeed, 170 in one book or 327 in the other. Yes. So, as I was saying, so she must write a short paper about the people who are connected with the company. The most important words are in the key vocabulary. Read the text and answer the question using a full sentence. Remember, when we ask you a full sentence, ¿de qué color es la casa? La casa es de color X, ¿no? So we've got shareholders, accionistas for us in Spanish. Company secretary, la secretaria de la compañía, yes. It is not compulsory to have one, yes, nowadays, but generally their duties must be fulfilled, yeah, because someone needs to inform to IGJ once a year or to Companies House in the UK, the annual return, yes, where you confirm who are the shareholders, the balance sheet, the profit and loss, and so on. Employees, empleados, no, very difficult, accountant, contador, directors, los directores de la compañía, auditor, auditor, creditors, who are the creditors and the debtors? Creditors of the company, yes, so people who owe money, yes, creditors of the company and debtors to the company, yes, so people
Acreedores.
who owe acreedores y
deudores.
people who owe money, yeah, and deudores. Okay. Any questions from there? Any doubts what they mean or no? Okay.
No.
So, Gustavo, buen día. Estás muteado, pero would you like to read the first paragraph?
Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? Yes, of course.
Federico, excuse me, but I couldn't find a page yet. Could you please repeat both numbers?
I reason 327 in one book
Sí.
and 170 en el otro.
17. No, I heard
Right?
17. Excuse me.
So yeah, Gustavo,
Excuse
please,
me.
can you? No worries. Gustavo, can you read the first paragraph, please?
Yes. When the founders of a new company register the company of Companies House, the company exists as a separate legal entity. This is important as it means that the company is separate from its owners, who are the shareholders of the company. The shareholders are also known as the member of the company. The people who work for the company are the employees.
Okay, excellent. So 3 or 4 things to remember there. Yes. So the first one is that when we have a company, as we've seen in the previous class, yes, you know that we got a separate legal entity, as in Spanish, ¿sí? Tenemos un sujeto de derecho independiente de sus miembros o accionistas, in this case, okay? So the whole idea of that is to limit responsibility, yes? Okay, and then we can call the shareholders, another name for shareholders is members. That's what they
Members
told
of
us,
the company.
yes? And then you got the employees, yeah, people who work for the company, okay? Juan Manabela, buen día.
Buen día, disculpen.
No, por favor, estamos en la página 327 o 170, depende del libro que tengas. Y no sé si querés leer el segundo párrafo.
Espérate que voy a la página.
¿Cómo no?
The language of company law.
Indeed, we are in exercise 1. Estamos leyendo el segundo párrafo. The people who have
Power.
The people who have the power to run the company are the directors. The company articles of association give the directors this power. Together, the directors are called the board of directors. They make all the decisions about the management of the company.
Excellent, thank you, Juan. So here, the things to remember is the persons who run the company, the persons who take the decisions on the everyday management of the company is the directors and not the shareholders. Yes? El CEO, the YPF, yeah, or the board, is the person who make the decisions. Yes? Then the shareholders, if they don't like him, they sack him and they appoint a new one. Yes? But the person who making the decisions are what the persons running the company is the directors, which collectively we call them el directorio or the board of directors in English. Yes, board of directors. Excellent. María Laura, buen día. ¿Querés leer el third
Good
paragraph?
morning. How are you?
Morning. Very well, thank
Okay.
you.
Very well. There is a lot of work in connection with the company. Some of this is financial paperwork. For example, dealing with the payroll, which means calculating salaries and wages for the employees. It also involves sending invoices to people who buy goods or services from the company and paying invoices for suppliers. Companies usually employ accountant to deal with all this financial paperwork. So I continue?
Yes. Same paragraph.
Yes. Okay. Other paperwork is in connection with the legal administrative duties of a company. This includes the duty send an annual return each year to company's house, containing up-to-date information about the company, together with annual financial accounts. It is the duty of the company secretary to make sure that these legal requirements are followed. If this person fails to send the correct documents to company's house at the correct time, then he or she may have to pay a fine.
Excellent, thank you. So here, to sum it up, yes, in relation to the paperwork, el papeleo, ¿sí? ¿Saben que no existe la palabra trámite acá o nunca la pude encontrar? Tengo que salir a hacer un trámite. ¿Sí?
Trámite así, in strictly that note, I've only heard red tape.
Sorry, what? Did you hear what?
Red tape, pero rather than as meaning bureaucracy. Trámite as
Yeah,
something.
it's different because here in español es,
Claro.
che, salgo a hacer estoy en el trabajo,
Sí,
salgo 10
sí.
minutitos a hacer un trámite. ¿Viste?
Sí.
Ese concepto,
No.
porque no existe el concepto de hacer el trámite, y más que ahora todo online encima. Pero nunca existió tampoco.
Sí, it's true.
Well, anyway, so in terms of paperwork, there are two types of paperwork. We got the financial paperwork and we got administrative paperwork. Yes, so you can make that distinction. And in terms of financial, yes, basically you need to you buy things and you need to pay. Yes, so that's why they're saying you, for example, dealing with the payroll is to pay the wages. Yes, to the employees. The payroll is an Excel with the name and how much each person gets paid, and the accountant makes sure, yes, that every employee gets paid by between the 1 and the 10th, let's say, yes. But you generally, who does that work? In general, you employ an accountant who works in-house for the company, yes. Or nowadays you can outsource that accountant and he could do the job, yes. There's also administrative duties. Yes, the administrative duties generally fall under the realm of the company secretary. Yes, it's not that you need to have one. For example, I don't have a company secretary in my company, but I fulfill that role. So someone will be responsible for sending the documentation, in this case, for example, the annual return to company's house, yes, where you have the profit and loss, the balance sheet, the confirmation statement, who says who are the actual shareholders of that company, every year, and if you don't send it in time, you will have to pay a fine. Yes. Any questions from that?
No.
No. Excellent. Maria, would you like to
Yes,
read the
the
last
last one.
paragraph? Buen día.
Okay. Each year, a qualified account called the auditor must inspect all the financial records of the company. The auditor has to look at the creditors and the debtors of the company. Creditors are the people, including banks and other companies, who the company owns money. Debtors are all the people who own money to the company. The auditor must be satisfied that the annual financial records are accurate.
Accurate. Yes,
Accurate.
excellent.
Accurate, I'm sorry, accurate.
So, the auditor es el auditor. Generally, es un auditor externo. Yes? So, he doesn't work for the company. You tend to hire him, he will review actually the work done by the accountant, if it makes sense. Yes? The accountant will present all the paperwork to him, and he will call them external financial auditor. Yes, and a separate company go through your books, basically through your when we say the books is the financial books. Yes, and they will make sure that the information stated there is correct, therefore accurate. And as we know, creditors and the debtors. The debtors is the people who owe money to the company, and the creditors actually the works the other way around. Yes. Any questions from there?
Yes, a quick question, Federico. Auditor could also be síndico, for Argentina, rather than auditor.
¿Cuál es la diferencia entre el síndico y el auditor?
No, es una figura legal más que nada. O sea, el auditor no es una figura legal específica, el síndico es designado.
Claro,
Se designa.
Es judicial el síndico,
claro,
se llama.
Es judicial, es una persona que interviene en un
cuando
proceso
tenés una
judicial que es
quiebra.
el
No,
concurso
bueno,
o la quiebra.
Javier is right. You can have a
No.
síndico en concurso sin quiebra,
Sí.
but also in bonus companies.
Sí, en una sociedad que opere en el 299, o sea, que tenga un capital superior, que tenga que ser regulado
He's
por ley. Ahí se tiene que designar obligatoriamente un síndico, que no es un proceso judicial.
No, it's not the same, because so for those type of companies, that would be, for example, a requirement probably if you have a public limited company that you therefore, and when you start having bigger companies, and depending or not if they are floating, they could be floating on AIM or on the London Stock Exchange. There will be further regulations for those companies imposed by the regulators. Yes. Now, in those cases, they probably impose to have a síndico. But this is something different. Este es el auditor, el típico auditor que está en la Argentina, y nada más. ¿Se entiende? Which also generally, to be honest, also generally applies, for example, smaller companies up to certain threshold of turnover. I can't remember the threshold, to be honest. You need to, up to certain threshold, you have unaudited accounts, for example, yes, because they're not mucha cuantía. And when you have certain threshold of X, I don't know if it is over the million, so I don't know when, you need to have audited accounts, yes.
Okay.
Yo tengo una consulta, Federico, perdón.
No.
Acá habla de Company Secretary, de que ellos llevan del Annual Financial Account, que bueno, dice often, ¿no? Often is the duty of the Company Secretary. Vos decís que es Administrative Duties. Esto del auditor sería como el cierre anual, el balance anual que hay que presentar a Company House.
Sí, exactamente. Si vos,
Eso.
if you would need, for example, if let's say that your company, I don't know, has a turnover over 10 million pounds, and let's say that over 10 million pounds, you need to have an auditor. Yes, you need to send audited financial statements. By the day you need to file it in company's house, they need to have been audited previously. Yeah, so you need to do it with sufficient time so that you get the auditor's report and you file all those documents into company's house. Does it make sense? Yes.
Okay, yes.
The company secretary does is actually the filing. It's not, es loguearse en la computadora, entrar a company's house, send the documentation. Yes. Similar to what you would do in IGJ once a year. Yeah. Okay.
Excuse me, and then accountant is in-house and auditor may be in or out or what?
Well, el accountant generally it's in-house, as I explained, yes. Es el que te lleva la contaduría de la empresa, si querés, ¿sí? Muchas empresas ahora lo están outsourcing that, yes. You generally you have a bookkeeping, que es el que te lleva los books, el que vos le mandás cuánto gastaste en la Coca-Cola que te juntaste con el cliente, la sube, y después le prepara toda los tickets, and they send that, yes, to the, ¿cómo se llama? El accountant. No, el accountant.
Bookkeeper to accountant.
That is how it generally works, yes. So, for example, I used
auditor?
to have a bookkeeping, and now I'm doing my bookkeeping on my own, for example.
Yes.
There's a software now where you put everything in there. It takes me a lot of time. That thing, it takes a lot of time. It saves me a lot of money.
And auditor is in-house or no?
El auditor, no, generally will be outside, because if someone está auditando, una auditoría externa, está auditando, ¿sí? A el contador.
It's sort of a due diligence, maybe?
No, for bigger companies. Same, for example, qué sé yo, let's say, deme una compañía, Clarín. Okay, I don't know, just say a big company in Argentina, yes? Big company in Argentina will probably have their own accountants in-house, yes? And then when they need to send the documentation to file it in IGJ, they will probably send it to one of the big four. We call it Ernst & Young, KPMG, las 4 firmas de auditorías más grandes del mundo. And they use one of those generally, that they audited, they sign it, and then only then you send it to IGJ. Does it make sense? Okay. So, example, answer the full questions. Who are the shareholders? The shareholders, also known as the members, are the owners of the company. Yeah. Sí que Marcos, buen día.
Buen día.
Who are the employees?
Who are the employees? Who are the employees? The employees are the people
Muy bien.
who work for the company. The employees are the people who work for the company.
Exactly. The employees are the people who work for the company. Perfecto, 10 puntos. B. Mayra, buen día.
Buen día.
What do the directors of a company do?
The directors of a company run the business, run the company, and they integrate the board of directors.
That's perfect. Yes. So the directors are the people who run the company, if you want, you can say as well. But excellent. What about C, Diana? What does an accountant do?
The accountant deals with all the financial paperwork. For example, deal with the payroll, calculate salaries and wages for the employees. Also involves sending invoices to people who buy goods or service from the company.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I will mention to you is that an accountant deals with finales, porque cuando tenés el does en la pregunta, what does an accountant do? acuérdense, he, she, it, el verbo lleva ese, ¿sí? So, an accountant deals with financial paperwork of a company, okay? Excellent. Javier, buen día. What does a company secretary do?
Buen día, very. It is the duty of the company secretary to make sure that the legal requirements are followed.
Ok. Está bien, está muy bien. O también
Well,
podríamos... No, está bien. Está perfecto lo que dijiste. We can say as well, a company secretary makes sure that all the legal requirements of the company are followed. Yes, as an alternative to what you say. Excellent. Well done. What does an auditor do, Sergio?
Yes. An auditor is a qualified accountant in charge of inspecting all the financial records of a company. He has to look at the creditors and the debtors of a company. Stop. Okay?
Ahora sí, perdón, se me vino el internet y iba a ir a recurrir al
No.
celular. Espérame que lo voy a
Don't
cargar
worry.
todavía. No te escuché, ¿podrás repetir, por favor?
Yes, yes. An auditor is a qualified accountant in charge of inspecting all the financial records of a company and who must look at the creditors and the debtors of a company.
Excellent. Yes. Alternatively, we can say an auditor inspects with final S
Ah, claro. Okay.
all the financial records of a company. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Well done. What about F, Cecilia? What are creditors?
The creditors are the people, including banks and other companies, who owes money to the company.
Excellent. Yes. Creditors are the people who the company owes money to. No, vos lo dijiste al revés. ¿Cómo dijiste?
The creditors are the people, including banks and other companies, who owes money to the company.
Está bien, sí.
¿Está bien?
Excellent, yes. And what are debtors? Eunice, buen día.
Buen día. The debtors are all the people who owe money to the company.
Excellent. Any questions in relation to this?
No.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, let's have a look at exercise 2. Buen día, Lautaro. Estamos en página 328 o 171 en ejercicio 2. Bueno, vamos a empezar. Eunice, what about A? Carry Knight.
Carry Knight. I invested £5,000 in Foxtrot Ltd by buying shares in the company. I am a of the company. I am also known as a member of the company. I am a shareholder.
I am a shareholder. Well done. Yeah. Cecilia B., the manager of the Royal Chatsworth Bank.
They owe us £4,200. We are the creditors of Foxtrot Ltd.
Excellent. So we are creditor of Foxtrot Limited. What about C, Sergio, Harry Orm?
I am a blank of Foxtrot Limited together with two others. Mary Parker and Joseph Copeland. Let me see. Mary and I are also shareholders, but Josh does not own any shares in the company. Together, we make all the decisions about the company, and we are responsible for running the company. I am a
Director,
I
imagine.
I am a director, yes. The
Director,
key there is that we make all the decisions.
Claro,
yes,
they make the decision. The decision maker, we are the decision makers, we are the directors.
Exactly. Well done. Javier, what about Mary Parker?
I am director of Foxtrot Limited, and I'm also the company secretary. This means that in addition to my duties as director, I have the important task of making sure that I follow all the statutory requirements connected with a company. For example, sending notices of meetings to shareholders and sending documents to company's house.
Excellent, well done. Samuel Dickinson, Diana.
I am an accountant and I work for a firm called AB Chartry & Co. Most of my clients are medium-sized private limited companies. One of my clients is Foxtrot Ltd. I have to check the company's financial account and make sure that they are accurate and show the true financial position of the company. I am Foxtrot Ltd's auditor.
Excellent, el auditor. Here the key is that he has to check the financial accounts and make sure that the financial position is accurate. Yeah. What about Elisa Taylor, Mayra?
Yes, I work for Foxtrot Ltd. as their. I deal with all the financial transactions of the company. Before I send invoices to people and pay our suppliers. I also deal with the payroll each month to make sure that all of our employees receive their correct monthly salary. So that would be the accountant.
Excellent, well done. Yes, you see the difference between the accountant and the auditor. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What about Ron Baxter? Marcos.
Okay. Ron Buster. I bought some goods from Foxtrot Limited 3 weeks ago. The cost of the goods is £795.20. I have an invoice for these goods, which I must pay next week. I am a debtor of Foxtrot Limited.
He's a debtor. Well done. Yes, we say los centavos rather than pounds, we call them pence. So 795 pounds and 20 pence. Yeah, pence se escribe con C. Pence, los centavos. Excellent. Well done. He's a debtor. What about Jane Wilkinson? Maria?
Jane Wilkinson. I am one of Foxtrot's, blah, blah, blah. I work in the sales department. I like working here. I receive a good salary and I also receive a commission on any new sales. I am one of Foxtrot's employees.
Employees, double E and final S. Well done. Yeah. Any questions from this? I think it's crystal clear. Do you know what suppliers means? You know, if I'm a supplier, soy un proveedor. Yeah, this is supplier. And an invoice, la factura.
La factura.
¿Sí? Bueno, areas of company law. Yeah, so distintas áreas de company law. So, Nelson Garwood Law Firm want to recruit a lawyer to work in their company and commercial department.
One question, Federico.
Sí, cómo no.
The only difference between bill and invoice is one is used in America and the other in the UK. That is all, or is it any other difference?
No, we can say send me an email, send me the bill. It's okay. Elson Garwood said they wanted to recruit a lawyer to work in their commercial department. They put the following advertisement in the legal magazine. The most important words or phrases are in the key vocabulary. Read the advertisement and put the correct phrases from the key vocabulary into each sentence below to complete the definition. Okay, so let's have a look at the key vocabulary. Restructuring companies. Reestructuración de compañías. ¿Sí? Raising finance, levantamiento de capital, levantar capital, to raise finance. Raise, sun rays, cuando se levanta el sol, ¿sí? Finance. Acquisitions, adquisiciones. Joint ventures, unidad transitoria de empresa para nosotros. Era UT, la UT, ¿no? Unidad transitoria de empresa, joint ventures. Yes. When two companies basically get together and they have a specific aim just for that aim, but they keep their own separate legal entities.
Sorry,
Shareholder. Sí,
sorry.
sí, cómo no.
It's no merged a company.
No, todavía no vimos merge. Well done. Yeah.
Okay.
Acá dijimos adquisiciones, acquisitions. Cuando una compañía compra otra. Esta es una compañía, se la compra. En la
No es fusión.
van a hacer esto.
Merge.
Las dos compañías van a ser una sola.
Okay.
Esa va a ser mergers. Por eso
Merge.
se llaman acá, por ejemplo, you
Joint
work for
ventures.
mergers and acquisitions. ¿Sí? Cuando vos estás buscando un lugar de laburo, ponele mergers and acquisition, fusiones y adquisiciones.
M&A.
¿Sí?
Because we saw it.
¿Eh?
We saw it in another unit. So you were explaining joint ventures, and I think about a merge, but it's not merge in this case.
No.
Fíjate que más adelante está merge.
Thank you. Dije que la vamos a ver, sí, sí.
Ah, perdón.
Bueno,
Sí,
no,
aparte, excuse me, besides, in Argentina, we make a difference between joint venture and UTA, because joint venture is accidental. It's only for one business.
Specific activity.
Claro, one activity, correct. Thank you. As UTA is permanent, a permanent joining between two companies.
Okay.
Joint venture is only one venture, as saying adventure, only one enterprise. Un solo emprendimiento. Claro,
Sí,
joint venture sería para un emprendimiento, un acto, un negocio solo. En cambio, UTA es una cosa permanente. Son dos sociedades que se unen.
Y pero en ese caso no pasaría a ser fusión, merge.
Claro, no sería transitorio.
No, because
mismo
they
nombre
keep
es
their own legal
el
entity,
mismo
personality.
unión transitoria de empresas.
Claro.
O sea, pero no es permanente, es transitorio, justamente.
Claro, pero el joint venture es un negocio en particular. No es transitorio,
Bueno,
es un negocio.
acá no. Acá dentro de lo que vos definís como UTE o joint venture for us depende de lo que diga el contrato. Pero es el mismo
Claro,
contrato.
sí, I'm making the difference here, yes.
No, that's fine. I didn't know exactly that you have joint ventures. I always know them as UTE when I study at university, actually. Estás muteado, perdón.
I look it up later, so I won't interrupt them.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the joint venture, yes, here it works as an UTI or joint venture in Argentina. Yes. Then you've got the shareholders agreement. This will be similar to the partnership agreement or the partnership deed in a limited liability partnership. Then this will govern the relationship only between the shareholders. This is not generally a public document. You don't have to have it, yes, as the limited liability partnership, but it is advisable to have it, yes, because when you have problems between the shareholders, you go back to the shareholders agreement, and that would govern their relationship. Then the director's duties, yes. So what are their duties? What do they have actually to do? Incorporating companies is basically as what we mentioned when we saw to set up a company. You go there, actually go and incorporate it in company's house. Yes. The merger, which is what Cecilia was saying, is actually when two companies merge together. Let's say between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, they form a new company called Pep-Cola. Cola o lo que fuera, yeah?
Fusión.
But they cease to exist, Coca-Cola in itself and Pepsi in itself, to form this new company. Yes, in the acquisition is different. It's, for example, Clarín buying Telefónica. Yes. Okay, incorporating company mergers. Insolvency. yes, is when the company is not able to pay its debts. Está insolvente. Yes. And director's service agreement is basically the name of the employment contract that we give to directors. Yes. Rather than calling it employment contract, which will actually it is for employees, because we call it director's service agreement. Okay, it's just a different name. Any questions from there? Does it make sense? Okay. So, Lautaro, buen día. ¿Podés leer?
Sorry, I was muted. I was muted and I wanted to ask you a
Sorry.
question. Sorry. I understand perfectly the difference between acquisition and merger, but I can't still make the difference between those two types and the third one, joint ventures.
Joint venture is basically when two companies get together for a specific...
For one specific...
it could be, for example, it could be that they say, for example, I don't know, imagínate que Habana, ¿y cuál es la competencia de Habana? El otro que vemos...
Café Martínez.
No, los que venden cuando estás en el aeropuerto.
Balcarce.
No son más los Balcarce, hay otra que...
Estoy viejo entonces. I'm out of fashion.
Bueno, ponele Balcarce, que antes estaban riquísimos, que era la competencia Habana, ¿sí? Y dicen, vieron que ahora está re de moda el Dubai Chocolate, que es...
Sí.
Dijo, bueno, imagínense, imagínense que una compañía que se dedique a hacer Dubai Chocolate, que se llama Balcarce, la inventé ahora, solamente hacen Dubai Chocolate los flacos. Y que Habana le diga a Dubai Chocolate, ¿sabes qué? Quiero sacar el alfajor Dubai Chocolate, que ahora sé que lo sacaron, pero quiero que vos hagas la producción del mismo y le ponemos Habana. Entonces se están juntando, ellos no pierden su identidad, cada una tiene su negocio aparte, pero para hacer solamente con el objetivo de hacer el alfajor Dubai, ¿me entendés? Se juntaron a ese fin. ¿Sí? Eso se llama el joint venture. That would be an example.
Perfect.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. En la otra, en el acquisition, es cuando Habana se compra a Balcarce. ¿Sí? Y en el merger van a hacer una nueva compañía que se llame Val Habana.
Perfecto.
Okay. Excellent. So, who would like to read the Elson Garwood LLP advertisement? Anyone up for grabs?
Sí, Juan.
Profesor, yo estoy.
Sí, perdón.
Por ahí la conexión no es muy buena. Quizás se me cae, pero...
Chatsworth law firm seeks dynamic company lawyer with at least 2 years
PQE.
PQE.
PQE. All then I'll explain what it stands for.
What it means?
I will explain later. Finish reading and I'll explain.
You will be advising our corporate clients in the following areas: company incorporation, raising finance, company restructuring, mergers, acquisitions, joint ventures, shareholders agreements, directors service agreements, directors duties, insolvency. Apply with CV and covering letter to Mrs. Fiona Bailey, Elysium Garwood LLP, The Parade, Chatsworth, web, or email at email
Blah.
F.
Okay. PQE stands for Post Qualification Experience. Yes. That means, acá, cuando vos te recibís, lo importante y va a determinar cuánto ganás, depende de la experiencia que tengas. Okay? So, with more PQEs, the more you can charge. Yes? So, I'll give you an example. I'll show you now. Vamos a poner solicitors fees, government guidelines. Okay. Let me show you. Let me share my screen. Okay, so solicitors guidelines hourly rates. Yes. So for example, can you see here guideline hourly rates?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for solicitors with over 8 years experience, 8 years PQE, que están en zona 1, London zona 1 es very heavy commercial, corporate work in central firms, y se puede cobrar hasta 566 pounds la hora. 413, alguien como yo, with 11 years PQE, London 2. Y es que eso depende del postcode que ustedes tengan, donde tienen registrada la compañía. Okay. So, depending, you see 2 years PQE or trainee solicitors, 205, depending that if it is national and so on. Yes. But then with more years PQE, the more you can charge. Okay. So that's what it helps you with the PQE. Okay, so Lautaro, buen día. ¿Querés hacer el A? ¿O podés?
Buenas.
Tenés que leer. Our contracts. ¿Estás ahí, Lautaro?
Hola, sí, ¿se me escucha?
Sí. Hola. Bueno. Vamos a ver si lo enganchamos después. Bueno, Juan, ¿querés hacer el A?
The directors' service agreements are contracts of work between a company and a director. They are similar to contracts of employment. The agreement contains all of the details of the director's position, for example, his or her remuneration, obligations, and restrictive covenant that applies, and a confidentiality clause.
Excellent. Okay, so basically it is the contract of employment for a director. It only changes the name, yes? We call it director service agreement, but it's the contract of employment. Gustavo, what about B? Ahí estás, Lautaro. ¿Querés hacer el B?
Preferiría no porque tengo muy mala conexión, profe. Le agradezco la oportunidad
Gustavo.
para no interrumpir.
In a situation where a company does not have enough money to pay its debts. Insolvency.
10 puntos. So insolvency is a situation where a company cannot pay its debts. ¿Sí? What about C, María Laura?
Yes. Merger take place when two companies join together. Mergers, take place when two companies join together to form one company.
Excellent and well spotted. Mergers with final S.
Plural, yeah.
Well spotted. María, what about D? María, estás muteada.
Sorry.
No worries.
I started again. It was number D. Obtaining money from banks, private individuals, or investment institution is no more formally as raising finance.
10 puntos, si es raising finance. When you basically, it's a way, you know, you want to make the Dubai chocolate, you need extra capital, yes, and you need to raise finance. Tenés que levantar capital. You can get that capital either from bank institutions, individuals, contributions, I don't know. What about E, Marcos?
Okay. Acquisitions occur when one company buys another company. They are also called takeovers.
Well done. Acquisitions. Es una palabra
Okay.
un poco difícil, yes. But acquisitions occur when we are called takeovers. Eso es verdad. Después también tenemos el famoso hostile takeover. Yes. Hostile es cuando vienen directamente, por lo general, van y te compran la mayor cantidad de acciones en el mercado, legally possible, without much notice, yes, y vienen y te compraron de repente, yes.
And you don't want to be bought.
And you don't want to be bought, yes, exactly. Bueno, ese se llama hostile, hostil, ¿sí? Hostile takeover. What about F, Mayra?
Yes. So this is all of the legal work involved in setting up a new company. That would be company restructuring.
There's another one.
So all of the legal work involved in setting up a new company.
Sí. Cuando la formás, cuando vas y GJ, te logueás, haces el company setup.
Incorporating companies?
Yes, la estás incorporando. So, company incorporation, creo que dice. O company incorporation o incorporating companies is all the legal work involved in setting up a new company.
Perfect.
What about G, Diana?
Restructuring company is changing the existing structure of companies with the aim of improving their performance.
Cómo está escrita es un poco...
Changing the existing structure of companies with the aim of
Sí,
improving...
ahí tenés some keywords. Changing structure. That is the keyword for me. Or what would prompt me to look for something similar in words and meaning. Que creo que lo dijo Mayra justito antes. Yo le dije que no.
It is not joint venture.
Mira lo que te digo. Mira lo que te digo, Diana. Changing the structure. Busca algunas palabras que estén ahí que significan changing the structure.
It is not restructuring companies.
Yes, why not?
I said that.
I didn't hear it, sorry.
No, it's okay.
No lo escuché. Exactly, that. It is restructuring companies, yes, changing the structure. Perdón, no te escuché.
Okay.
So, yes, restructuring the companies, yes, changing the structure. Excellent. What about H, Javier?
Situations where two or more companies work together on a particular project for a limited period of time are called joint ventures. Each company remains independent from each other.
Yes, so they work on a particular project or for a particular period of time. Yes, joint ventures. And what about el I, Sergio?
Agreements between the members of a company are called blank. They are important as they contain the members' obligation to the company and to each other. For example, they state what happens when a shareholder wants to sell his or her shares, its shareholders' agreements.
Indeed, well done. Yes, so it will govern the relationship between the shareholders. Yes, and generally, this is not a document that you will find in Companies House because you don't have to file this. Yes. En el último, J, el J, Sicilia.
All the all the obligations and requirements of the director are called director's duties.
Exactly, ¿sí? So, las obligaciones del director, no, lo de los directores. Any questions from what we've seen? No, I think it's clear.
No.
Okay, excellent. There's a lot of information, that's it. Exercise 2. Here, we're going to have, Peter Hapsworth saw the advertisement and wrote a letter to Fiona Bailey. Peter's letter is mixed up. Yes, we need to put it in the correct order. And remember that the part that starts in blue, E, is done as an example. Así que ese es el primero. It's going to start, Dear Miss Bailey. Yes. Eunice, let's start reading.
I start with the A, reading.
Bueno, let's start reading. Yes. So what? Let's read it all, and then we'll put it in order.
A. Upon qualification, Hedsons offered me a position in the company law department. I now have 18 months PQE specializing in this area. I have an excellent working relationship both with clients and other members of the company department team. B. Position of company lawyer. C. I look forward to hearing from you. D. Following successful completion of the legal practice course at Oxton, I undertook my training contract with Hedgesons LLP. I gained experience in civil litigation, banking, property, and company law. E. Dear Miss Bailey. F. Peter Hapworth. G. I read your advertisement for a company lawyer in the Legal Gazette 20 July 2000X with interest. I would like to apply for this position. H. Yours sincerely, and whilst I enjoy my current position, I believe that Elson Garwood would offer a wider client base and that I could acquire further skills and experience. I enclose my CV for your information and would welcome the opportunity to meet you. I am able to attend an interview next month.
Excellent. So what we're gonna do this time, I want you to work on your own for, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes would be too much. Around 3 minutes, more or less. Put it in order yourself. Yes. I'm gonna go and look for some water, and when I come back, we'll review it all together. But try to do it on your own. Yes?
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute. Okay. How are we doing? Have you finished? Are you still working?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. The rest? Have you finished?
Yeah, me, yes.
The rest? I know Javier
Finished,
did.
yes. Whether it's right or wrong, that's another question.
Bueno, I will see. Maria, have you finished?
Almost.
Diana?
Yes.
Okay.
I finished.
Okay, so let's have a look. So it says then we know that it starts with dear Miss Bailey. Yeah. What do we put for 2?
B.
The rest? Did you all put B?
G, I
I
put.
agree.
G.
B.
G?
Yeah.
I agree. B.
No. B is correct. The difference probably is that Diana attended the part on modern letter writing. Yes. So we know when we start a letter, yes, that we have that little bit in bold, which we tend to put below the dear, whoever we're writing to, which we put it in bold, which is basically what the letter relates to, so that the reader, the person who receives the letter, can easily identify what the letter will be about. It will be about the position of company lawyer in this case. Okay? But I do agree that for number 3, G is the correct one. Yes, this is what the phrase says. So I read your advertisement for a company lawyer in a legal gazette with interest. I would like to apply for this position. What about number 4?
I put D.
I agree.
And the rest, D?
It's D as well.
Yes, D.
This is the correct one. Well done. So what he's saying there, yes, is basically a little bit of his history in his career. Yes. So he completed the LPC at Oxford, rather than at Oxford. Training contract, and he says the name of the firm, Hedgeson's LLP. We know now that it's a limited liability partnership, LLP. Yeah. And he's saying that he had experience in civil litigation, banking, and so on. What about for 5? What would be 5?
It's
A.
A.
Yeah, no, A. Upon qualification, see, porque after the training contract you qualify, he's telling that he's been offered a position. He has now a year and a half PQE, yes, and he says his skills. What about el 6?
Aye.
I for India. Whilst I enjoy my
my
current
current
position, yeah, he's saying that this new film would offer him a client base and further skills. Yes. What about 7?
C.
See the closing statement. No, I look forward to hearing from you. And then H, yours sincerely, the complementary close. Yes. Y la F, que es Peter Hampton. Firma. Okay. Any questions from there?
No.
How did you find it? Did you find it difficult? Bueno, acá tienen
Awesome.
helpdesk PQE. Perdón. ¿Me ibas a preguntar algo, Diana?
No.
PQE, which is what I've already explained. I undertook this job, since you did this case, ¿no? To acquire further skills, ¿sí? Es adquirir mayores herramientas en este caso, ¿yes? Client base es la clientela, la base de clientes. Okay. Bueno, so any questions or we move on to directors? Directors. Anyone would like to read? Up for grabs.
David Merriman is talking about his job as a director of a company. The most important words are highlighted in the text. Read what David says, and then complete the sentences of the next page by matching the first half of each sentence with the correct ending.
Okay.
My name is David Merriman. I'm one of the directors of Holloway and Riggs Limited. Our company produces mobility equipment for people who cannot walk properly. Holloway and Riggs Limited has a board of 5 directors. 4 of us are executive directors. That means that we are the people who make all of the day-to-day decisions about running the company. We also have one non-executive director called Jack Dury. As a non-executive director, he is not involved in the daily running of the company, but he gives us advice on new designs for our equipment.
Excellent. So what we have there, we'll go paragraph by paragraph. What they're telling us there, yes, is that we have basically classification between directors. Yes, remember that the directors, different from shareholders, the directors run the company, not necessarily shareholders. The shareholders or members are the ones who own the shares in the company. And we mentioned previously that the directors are in charge of running the company. Now, bless you, Juan. As we understand, there are 2 different types of directors. You got executive directors and non-executive directors. Actually, the directors running the company are the executive directors. Yes. The non-executive directors are not involved in the running of the company, but they give advice. Yes. So there are jobs. Hay gente que trabaja of being just as a non-executive directors. You have different appointments as non-executive directors in 20, 30 companies. You attend, I don't know, maybe once a month, the meeting for non-executive, and you just get paid a salary. Yeah. And you can be that for different companies. So you can make actually a work or an employment of being a non-executive director if you so wish. Yes, does it make sense, this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to read the second paragraph?
I wouldn't mind.
Shareholders, go ahead.
Yes, dale, Maria.
When the shareholders of Holloway and Riggs Limited appointed me as a director of the company 6 years ago, the rules about the duties of directors were not really very clear. There wasn't a statute.
No había una ley, básicamente.
Statute dealing with the duties of directors. The law came from the common law. The main duties of the director were the duty to act with care and skill and the fiduciary duty of good faith. Because a director knows so much about a company, the shareholders must trust the director always to act in the best interest of the company. For example, For example, we as directors aren't allowed to make a secret profile by using our knowledge of the company for our benefit.
Okay. So to make a secret profit.
Profit.
So what they are telling us here is that, first of all, you appoint directors. That is the expression. Yes, to appoint or remove a director. Yes. Si, if you appoint, lo nombrás. Me nombraron en el directorio. ¿Sí? But you are appointed as a director, or you appoint a director. Yes. Then what they're telling us is that before, yes, we didn't have a law dealing specifically with the director's duties. The same used to come from the common law. Yes. Pero no tenías una ley que estipulara estos son los duties of the directors. You would need to go to the different cases, and from there you can infer which one were their duties. And basically eran el duty of cares and skill, ¿sí? And the fiduciary duty of good faith. Era el hombre de negocios, como decimos en Argentina, el código de comercio. El
buen hombre de negocios.
El buen hombre de negocios. ¿Sí? Era básicamente eso. The difference is that with the Companies Act 2009, which I remember we mentioned it in the previous class, I think, then we do have since then a law, a statute dealing with the director's duties. Yes, so in essence, director's duties before they used to come from the common law, they were not very clear because they were a bit wishy-washy in the sense that it was just to act with reasonable care and skill and a fiduciary duty of good faith. Nowadays, we do have a law, which is the Companies Act 2009, which actually deals and tell you what the director's duties are. But another thing to remember is that the director has the duty to act in the best interest of the company, yes? And that doesn't allow you, for example, of insider dealing. If I know that the company is going to be bought by Coca-Cola and the shares are going to go up, because I have that internal knowledge, I cannot go to my wife or cousin and tell, go and buy shares of my company. Yeah? That would be
insider trading.
Crime called insider dealing. Yes. Okay, that is basically what they're saying. So you appointed directors, fiduciary duties before from the common law. They were not very clear. It was just with act of care and skill and duty of good faith. Nowadays, we have a statute dealing directly with the director's duties on there is, you need to act in the best interest of the company, not of yourself. Sorry, Companies Act 2006, not 2009. Bueno, who would like to read the next paragraph?
However, may I?
Dale, Sergio. However, since the
Companies Act 2006 came into force, the law about the duties of directors is a little clearer. The Act includes some provisions about directors. It talks about executive directors and non-executive directors, which I mentioned earlier. It talks about shadow directors. Let me go up. Basically, a shadow director is a person who is not officially a director of the company because the shareholders did not appoint him or her as a director. But this person gives instructions to the other directors. Executive directors, non-executive directors, and shadow directors all have the same duties and responsibilities to the company. Directors have a duty to avoid a conflict of interest. In other words, we are not allowed to be in a position where our personal interest may tempt us to do something that would not be in the best interest of the company. If a director has a personal interest that may conflict with the interest of the company, then the director must tell the other directors about it. In other words, the director must disclose that interest so that everyone knows about it.
Excellent. So, what they're saying us, well, basically, as I explained, since you have the statute, the director's duties are clearer. But also, we talk about, today we talk about the classification of executive directors and non-executive directors. Now we're gonna add a third type of directors, which are called shadow directors. So in the original classification, when I talk to you about directors, you're going to think about 3 different types of directors. You're going to think executive director, he runs the company. Non-executive director, he gives advice and he does not run the company. And shadow directors, in order to complicate things, which I understand in Argentina, they are not recognized, but you might tell me differently. Shadow directors, as the word suggests, están en las sombras. A shadow significa sombra. ¿Sí? So, en la sombra, en las penumbras, not officially appointed.
Sería, perdón, Federico, sorry, sería socio oculto el shadow director.
No,
No
because
sé
that would be a
si socio
shareholder.
oculto, primero que socio sería shareholder, ¿me entiendes?
Ajá,
No,
Pero esto es legal, ¿no, Federico? O sea, está
sí,
permitido. Claro, no,
en la
acá no.
ley, lo que te
but
estoy
not
diciendo es que
here.
la
I
ley
don't
lo
know.
contempla.
Claro.
La ley lo contempla. ¿Ok? La ley te habla de 3 distintos tipos de directores. El executive director, el non-executive director y el shadow director. Déjenme que les voy a explicar con ejemplos qué es un shadow director, porque a mí me costó en su momento entenderlo. Porque no existía en Argentina. O sea, ¿no? Como un shadow director que está en la ley, pero no está appointed. No está appointed, no está appointed, no está. ¿No? Ahora, no, es muy difícil. No está nombrado, ¿ok? Pero es el típico caso de que es el que levanta el tubo en la empresa de arriba y le dice al director lo que tiene que hacer. Y el director formalmente appointed, actually acata lo que le viene de arriba. ¿Sí? Ese sería un shadow director. Yo pongo este ejemplo, siempre los pongo los ejemplos como ejemplos, no porque sucedan así, valga la redundancia, es un ejemplo. Compañías grandes, ¿sí? O donde vos tenés un conglomerado de compañías, lo explico en español, así se entiende. Me imagino, por ejemplo, el grupo Clarín, un grupo grande, ¿sí? O el grupo Urnequian, no sé. Donde vos tenés Clarina como empresa madre y después, por ejemplo, tenés empresas que dependen de ellas, como por ejemplo estaba Fivertel debajo del grupo Clarín o está Papel Prensa estaba. ¿Sí? El director de Papel Prensa and the board of directors of Papel Prensa, they are formally appointed. ¿Okay? Pero ¿qué pasa? Cuando reciben el llamado, el director de Papel Empresa, del director de Clarín, que está por encima de él, que son la empresa, que son dueños, y le dicen, che, tienen que hacer tal cosa, el director que está arriba, que le da la dirección, aunque no esté appointed para Papel Prensa, ¿sí? Él está actuando como un shadow director. Y lo que dice la ley es que ese shadow director tiene las mismas responsabilidades que cualquier otro director. O sea que se reconoce la figura de este director que está en las sombras, que da órdenes a los directores formalmente appointed y ellos la siguen. ¿Se entiende? Es un blanqueo de la realidad, es un blanqueo como en Estados Unidos la ley de lobby. El lobby existe.
Claro. Sí, claro.
¿Sí? Por más que nos parezca mal, el lobby existe.
Claro.
Está blanqueado. Y esto es lo mismo. ¿No se entendió cómo funciona?
Sí, mejor reconocerlo que negar la realidad.
Bueno, si querés.
Lo que queda claro entonces es que el formally appointed director se libera de responsabilidad con solo invocar las directions del shadow director. Él dice, bueno,
Bueno,
me
no
dijeron que
es
haga
que,
esto.
no es que se libera de
A ver,
responsabilidad. Lo que te están
obediencia
diciendo
de
es que el
vida.
que dio la orden, que estaba
Sí,
arriba y que no está acoso,
sí.
tiene las mismas responsabilidades que él. No es que después eso es una
Sí,
cuestión
está
de
bien.
que se
O sea,
discutirá en el
depende del
juicio.
caso. Está bien, está bien, está bien.
Claro, ¿entendés? Te
Está
estoy
bien, está bien.
diciendo, bueno, vos que diste la orden, aunque no estabas appointed, vos también tenés responsabilidad. Después, bueno, veremos si yo
Está bien,
tendría
está bien.
seguido.
Entiendo.
¿Okay? But existe, eso es lo que le quería decir. No sé, creo que en Argentina no existe la figura de por sí, no hay reconocimiento de este Shadow Director. A eso es lo que digo. ¿Ok? Bueno, y después, the other thing to notice here is, bueno, el conflict of interest, ¿sí? El conflicto de interés, que eso va de la mano con that you have to act in the best interest of the company and not to think about yourself. El caso que yo di, el ejemplo que di of insider dealing sería un conflict of interest. The whole idea, for example, give you another example of a conflict of interest. Yes, let's say that the company that Marcos and I and Diana, yes, we are the three shareholders of this new company. We are the shareholders, we are directors of the company, yes, and our company is gonna buy bicycles, electronic bicycles for our employees, let's say.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
they decide, I also have, apart from me right there, I also own a company that sells e-bikes to companies. Yes. And they're gonna contract my company, yes, of the one I'm also shareholder. There, I have a conflict of interest because I need to act as in the best interest of the company that I am the director, yes, but I also want them to hire my company because it's going to bring me money. Esto es lo mismo que, bueno, no me quiero meter en política, pero el contratar a la empresa de alguien que está en el gobierno, hay conflict of interest. El principio es ese, ¿ok? Entonces, acá sería lo mismo. Si if they want, if I want them to my company to be hired, but this new company to buy the e-bikes, I will have to disclose to Marcos and Diana that I am the shareholder of that company, yes, so that they cannot say that I didn't tell them, okay?
Okay.
And therefore I would disclose, cuando yo les digo, I disclose my conflict of interest to them, okay? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to read the last paragraph?
May I?
Sí, please.
Okay. I hope to remain in my position of director of Holloway and Riggs Limited for many years. My service agreement with the company expires in 2 years, but I hope that the shareholders will reappoint me. I can remember only one occasion, which was 3 years ago, when the directors and shareholders were so dissatisfied with the performance of one of the directors that the shareholders had to remove the director. That means they dismissed him. I would be devastated if that happened to me. I'm very proud of the company and its products, and I firmly believe that this company has a great future. I will do my very best to ensure that I exercise my powers as a director to the best of my ability.
Okay, so what they're saying here is basically, as I said, generally during once a year, we will see later on, you got AGMs, annual general meeting. The company need to have an annual general meeting. Generally, at that meeting, yes, the shareholders vote to appoint the directors. They can either be reappointed or appoint new ones. Yes. And you appoint the accountants, the auditor, the solicitors, the legal services. Yes, who's gonna be our auditors, directors, accountant, lawyers for this next year? Yeah. Now, if you, same as we have appointed a director, the other side is to remove a director. Yes, removerlo. Appoint, lo nombras, lo removes. Okay? And the idea here is that you exercise power. Yes? El poder de director, en este caso, se ejercita, o los poderes se ejercitan. Any questions?
No.
No. Okay, turn over the page. And here we need to match A to I with 1 to 9. Yes? So if I'll say Eunice executive directors, what would be?
I would say 6. Run the company and make all the decisions about the company.
I would say the same, so congratulations. Cecilia, non-executive directors.
Advise the company about particular matters, but they do not take part in the daily decision making. Number 2.
Excelente. Yes, well done. What about appointed? Appointed, Javier.
Appointed means elected or chosen for a particular position. 4.
Perfect. Number 4. What about a fiduciary duty? Is Sergio?
A duty to act in the best interest of someone because that person trusts you.
Excelente. Well done, Sergio. And what about a shadow director? Diana.
Shadow director is someone who, even though he or she has no official position of authority, gives instructions to the official directors. 9.
Excellent. Number 9. Well done. Mayra, what about F? A conflict of interest is?
A conflict of interest is a situation in which you are in a position of trust for more than one person, and if you take a particular action, this will give good results to one person while at the same time giving bad results to other person. Number one.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, conflict of interest. What about G? To disclose information means to Marcos.
Yes. To disclose information means to give that information to someone or tell someone about it.
Indeed, well done. What about H? To remove a director, Maria.
I answered and I didn't know that I was mute. So to remove as a director means to dismiss that person from his or her position as a director.
Excellent, number 5. And the last one, to exercise a power means, Gustavo?
Use that power.
Use that power. Well done. In exercise 2, we've got a true or false. Okay? So we'll try to do it all together. I'm going to read them and you let me know if it is true or false. Of course, you probably have to look at exercise 1 of what we said in directors, yes? So David Merriman is a member of the board of directors of Holloway and Riggs Limited.
It's true.
True indeed. Yeah. I'm one of the directors of Holloway and Riggs, he said. Jack Drury is a member of the board of directors of Holloway and Riggs?
True. It's a non-executive director, but it's member.
Indeed, well done, well spotted. Yes, he's a member, but a non-executive member. What about D? David Merriman has been a director at Holloway and Riggs for 6 years.
I think it's false. We don't have that information.
No, it's true.
A ver.
It says that it's position for many years, but
It's true, I think. In the second paragraph, it says, when the
Yes.
shareholders of Holloway
6
and Riggs
years.
LTD appointed me as a director of the company 6 years ago.
I think it says, sorry.
Yeah, true. Well done. Well done. What about the directors are allowed to make a profit from their position, but they must not tell anyone about it?
False.
False, completely false.
False,
Todo al revés.
completely false.
David Merriman wants to retire in 2 years. Esto estaba al final.
False.
False.
False. He doesn't want to retire. 3 years ago, the shareholders removed David Merriman from his position as a director.
False.
Excellent. Bueno, and the help desk. Mobility equipment, ¿alguna vez escucharon?
No.
Dice equipment, bueno, para la gente con dificultades para movilizarse, y eso puede encontrar desde un wheelchair, los mobility scooters ahora, que acá hay un montón, crutches o walking sticks, ¿sí? Bueno, good face, de buena fe, to the best of my abilities, to do the best you can, and if you're devastated, estás devastado, you're really accept. Okay? Okay, bueno, let's start with company meetings. Yes? So, any questions from what we've seen up to now?
No.
No? So far, so good. Excellent.
So far, so
Bueno,
good.
we're gonna move on. We're gonna start with company meetings. Yes? It says, Christine Martin works at the Chatsworth Business Advice Bureau. This is an office that gives advice and information to people who want to start a new business. Christine is writing an information sheet about company meetings. The most important words or phrases are in the key vocabulary. Read the first page of the information sheet and answer the question as following using a full sentence. So let's have a look at this. Company meetings. Bueno, reuniones o meetings de compañía. Board meetings.
¿Serían asambleas, company meetings?
Bueno, ahí vamos a la diferencia. Está el company meetings and the board meeting. The board will be del directorio. And the company meeting va a ser de los shareholders. Okay?
Claro, asambleas, sí. Asambleas.
El AGM o EGM, Annual General Meeting or Extraordinary General Meeting. Los minutes, es la minuta, ¿sí? Then you got the Annual General Meeting, la reunión anual. The chairperson, el que preside.
El
presidente.
What is chairperson?
Es el presidente que preside la reunión.
Okay.
To convene a meeting es llamar a una reunión. To convene a meeting, that's the expression. Then you've got, let's say that you had an AGM. ¿Perdón?
No, convocar, pero no dije nada que no dijeras vos, convocar.
Sí, convocar. Extraordinary meeting, these ones will take place, yes, generally when you need to have something extraordinary. Let's say that you already had an AGM, yes, or the AGM will take place, I don't know, in January next year, and you are in March, so there are, I don't know, quite a few months until it happens. You call for an extraordinary general meeting, yes. Quorum, el quórum, se llama en Argentina, you need quorum. You adjourn a meeting. Adjourn, ¿alguna vez escucharon? Es
Terminar.
basically
Sí,
to
pero claro,
postpone.
incluso en los juicios,
Ah.
court is adjourned.
No.
Es posponer. Okay, to
Adjourn
adjourn a
es
meeting.
posponer.
Posponer. Proxy, to vote back proxy. Yes, let's say that you're a shareholder and you vote by proxy. So
Apoderado.
you appoint someone to appoint in your place. And you can vote by either show of hands or by poll, by pool. Okay.
Yes. Show of hands, what it means?
Show of hands es para levantando la mano, o en el poll, que vos básicamente en el papelito. Okay. So let's have a look at what it says. Chatsworth Business Advice Bureau, company meetings. Who would like to read? Yo les pregunto porque por ahí a algunos les gusta más que a otros.
Bueno,
If you
I
want-
read.
I read. Okay.
Dale, vamos. Yo soy más o menos, son siempre Juan, Sergio. No sé si hay alguien más interesado, María.
Sí, no tengo problema.
No está bien, pero ¿a alguien más le interesa leer?
No, there's room enough for all. Enough
Ah,
room for all. Go ahead.
Dale. Bueno, ladies first, vamos a estar. María, dale.
Okay. If you want to set up a private limit company or a public limit company, you need to know about companies meeting. There are board meetings and company meetings. Board meetings are meetings of directors of the company. Company meetings are meetings of the shareholders of the company.
Muy bien, así que acá para distinguir lo que se van a hacer en el cuadrito pones company meetings, el de los shareholders, porque la compañía de quién es dueña, del shareholder, del accionista. ¿Sí? Y el directorio, ¿quién es dueño del directorio? Los directores. ¿Sí? Entonces, the board meetings are by the directors. Yes? Sergio.
Company must hold regular meetings. The directors make all the decisions about the company, so they need to meet often. You need to keep a written record of each meeting. The written record of each meeting is called the minutes of the meeting. The person who controls a meeting is called the chairperson.
Okay, excellent. So the written record, la minuta, the written record of the meeting are called the minutes, minutes, ¿sí? La minuta para nosotros, ¿sí? Y el que preside esa reunión es el chairperson. So 4 things to remember up to now. Company meetings, shareholders. Board meetings, directors. Written record of each meeting, minutes. Chairperson, preside la meeting.
De minutes, perdón, profe, ahí volví con la conexión.
Bueno, sí,
Ahora
dale.
estuve renegando. De minutes sería el orden del día. ¿Qué podría decir?
No, es lo que
No,
escribís,
acta.
lo que se
Sería un acta.
decidió, todo lo que, la minuta, lo que surge de lo que se dijo, ¿sí?
Ok.
Ese es el
Podría
written
ser
record.
sería un acta.
Podría
Federico.
ser un acta, puede ser la propia resolución, no sé si sacan resolución después del acta, o en el acta misma resuelven.
El mismo acta, sí, el mismo acta.
Entonces el acta sería básicamente.
Se hace igual, ahí, o sea, tienen libros que ponen un acta donde se resuelve.
No, eso
Ya
no
no
existe.
más.
Okay. Es más, yo las hago todas ahora por Google Meets, por AI, con Gemini.
Y cuando tenés que inscribir algo, no tenés que presentar un acta.
No, es que no se presentan esas actas. Lo único que tenés que hacer es, por ejemplo, lo que llenar es el formulario de que alguien se remove the director. Y vos ponerle desde el acta, tenés 15 días para informar con Company House, pero no envías copia del acta.
Ah, ok.
No, mucho más fácil en ese sentido, la verdad.
Necesitas copia del acta con firma certificada, con Dios y María Santísima.
Acá no existe todo eso. Bueno, the next one. Dale, Juan.
The shareholders meet at the company's annual general meeting. This meeting takes place once each year. It is usually called the AGM. If it is necessary for the shareholders to meet again, the company will convene an extraordinary general meeting, which is called an EGM. To convene a meeting simply means to call a meeting. In other words, the company sends a notice to all the shareholders telling them when and where the meeting will take place.
Ok, aquí también, muy simple. AGM anual.
Annual.
Extraordinaria. Yes. So it, as the name suggests, is once a year, the EGM. If for any reason you need, the shareholders' approval on something, you call an EGM. Yes. Now you'll convene a meeting, as we say, yes, which basically is, notifying the shareholders when it will take place. Where will you go? For example, before calling an AGM or an EGM, you would need to satisfy yourself that you have provided sufficient notice. Where would you go to know how much notice you need to send the meeting for?
To the
Where would
bylaws.
you go?
Or the share-
Exactly. Well done, Javier. You would go to the bylaws. The bylaws will establish, yes, how many days the directors need to call in advance of an EGM. Maybe it's 30 days, 15 days. Yes. It's not that you can say from one day to another, oh, well, I call an AGM. Yes. Excellent. So you go and check the bylaws. Dale, Javier, ¿querés leer el próximo?
Yeah. There must be a quorum at a meeting. A quorum is the minimum number of people who have to be at the meeting in order to make an official decision. Each company decides how many people will constitute the quorum. If the quorum is not present, then the meeting cannot continue. You will have to stop the meeting and arrange a new date for it. In other words, you must adjourn the meeting, which means to postpone it.
Excellent. Yes. So as we know in Spanish, yes, you need a minimum number of persons present to hold a valid meeting. Yes. So you need what we call that minimum number is called quorum. If you don't have the necessary quorum, the meeting cannot take place, or if it takes place, they can then say it was null because you didn't have the necessary quorum. Yes, if you don't have enough quorum present, you need to adjourn it. That means postpone it. Okay. Well, and then the last two paragraphs. Who would like to read? Diana.
Yes. If a shareholder cannot go to the meeting, maybe because he or she is on holiday, he or she can ask someone else to go to the meeting and vote for him or her. That person is called the shareholder's
Proxy. Yes. So if you're a shareholder and cannot go, you can generally appoint someone by proxy. Generally, when they send you the notice with the sufficient time, it will include, la orden del día, so we're going to talk about, and as well the proxy form, the formulario, the proxy, see, so that you can send it and say, look, this person is going to go on my behalf. He's authorized to vote on my behalf. No es un poder que yo creo que los escuché hoy a ustedes decir, me pareció. Un poder acá es un power of attorney. No se necesita un poder as such dado de escribano para ir a votar a favor de otro. Solamente con completar el formulario, el dueño de la acción, ¿no? El accionista, diciendo que esta persona va a ir por mí y enviándolo, that's enough.
Es un autorizado.
Es una autorización, es un formulario que se envía justamente completando con los datos del accionista y que lo envía a él. Y él se convierte, después esa persona se convierte en el proxy del shareholder. ¿Okay?
¿Todos estos formularios están en la Company's House web?
No, estos los adopta la propia compañía.
Ah. Libertad de formas.
Eso no. And the last one, who would like to read the last one?
May I?
Cecilia. Dale, Marcos. Dale.
Okay.
People vote at a company meeting either by raising their hands or by making their votes, either on paper or electronically. The first method of voting is more formally called a show of hands, and the second method of voting is called a poll.
¿Sí? So, raising your
poll.
hand, raising fine es levantar, en este caso, raising es levantar, ¿sí? So, show of hands, ¿sí? O el poll es el papel o
When you
electrónico.
write. Mhm.
Voto electrónico o voto, no sé, con boleta única, por papel, como lo quieras hacer. Okay? Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, so let's have a look. Who attends board meetings? María Laura.
The directors attend a board meeting.
The directors of the company attend board meeting. Perfecto, 10 puntos. Lautaro, who attends company meetings?
The shareholders attend company meetings.
The shareholders of the company attend company meetings. Excellent, well done. What about C? What are the minutes of a meeting, Cecilia?
What are the minutes of a meeting? The
Four. The written report.
The written record of each meeting. The written record of each meeting.
Gracias, Juan.
¿Qué decís vos, Diana? Dale.
No, lo dijo Juan.
The minutes of a meeting are the written record of the meeting. Okay?
Yes.
Bueno, what about chairperson? What does the chairperson do at the meeting? ¿Quién? Mayra.
Yes, the chairperson is the person who controls the meeting.
So, pero ¿me lo repetís?
Yeah, is the person who controls the meeting.
Sí, pero entonces, ¿cómo lo contestás?
Oh,
What does the chairperson do at the meeting?
the chairperson controls the meeting.
Controls the meeting. Well done. Excellent. How often does an annual general meeting take place? Cecilia?
This sounds like San Martin's white horse.
Cecilia?
Yes. The annual general meeting takes place once each year.
Once a year.
Once a year.
Una vez al año.
Once a year.
Yes.
Excellent. Well done. What does the abbreviation EGM mean? Vamos a ver.
Extraordinary general meeting.
The abbreviation EGM means
extraordinary general meeting.
In a full sentence.
Oh, yeah.
No, and the last two. There must be a minimum number of people attending a meeting before that meeting can continue. What is the minimum number of people called? Diana?
This minimum number of people is called quorum.
Excellent. This minimum number of people is called quorum. What are the two methods of voting at a company meeting? Marcos?
Okay. The two methods of voting at company meeting are a show of hands and a poll.
Excellent, 10 puntos. The two methods of voting at a company meeting are a show of hands and a poll. Poll. Excellent, well done, well done. Let's have a look at exercise 2. Okay. Cecilia, would you like to start? We use correct words or phrases from the key vocabulary in exercise 1 to complete the sentences. See? So you need to read and choose a word.
Yes, we need at least 5 people to attend the meeting before we can make any decisions. There are only 4 people here, so we do not have a quorum present.
10 puntos, so we don't have a quorum, yes? You don't have enough quantity of people. Perfect. What about B, Sergio?
If you want to read what happened at a meeting, you should look at the blank of the meeting and minutes.
You should look at the minutes, ¿sí? Con final S, of a meeting. Well done. Excellent. Yeah. What about C, Javier?
The company's annual general meeting takes place in March of every year.
Excellent. See, the company's AGM, the annual general meeting, takes place once in March of every year. What about D, Mayra?
Yes. Meetings of the shareholders are generally known as company meetings.
As company meetings. Well done. What about E, Maria?
How often does an annual general meeting take place? Once a year. The company meets once a year, is it?
No.
¿Dónde estás?
E. How often does?
A ver, yo tengo una distinta. Por ahí nos cambiaron el libro.
We are in letter E.
Exercise 2, you're in exercise 1, Maria.
I'm sorry.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
No
Which
worries.
one? So,
I'm afraid.
I am afraid. No, but we have already done. Oh no. Okay. I am afraid there is not a quorum at this meeting. We will, how do you say when would you postpone? Adjourn the meeting now and hold it again next week. Adjourn.
So we don't have the quorum, we will adjourn. We will postpone, basically. No, postponer.
We said adjourn or postpone?
No, adjourn. Postpone
Adjourn.
is what it means.
Okay, adjourn.
La F, Gustavo.
Yes, the GM of Trade Finance Public Limited Company will take place next month. One of the shareholders that are here when the meeting took place, then asked her friend Teresa to be her shareholder's proxy and vote on her behalf at the meeting. Proxy.
Excellent. To be her proxy and vote on behalf of the meeting. Yes, because she will be in France. So well done. Yeah. What about G, Juan?
One method of voting that is very often used at company meetings is where each shareholder raises his or her hand, in other words, voting by a shown hands.
Excellent, by a show of hands. Yes. Y la H, Diana.
Granger Ltd. holds its AGM last month. Sorry. Now it is necessary to hold another meeting. This time it will be an EGM.
EGM, claro, porque ya hicieron el AGM. Will be extraordinary now. Excellent. I for India, Lautaro.
Yes, I. The directors hold regular at which they discuss the position of the company and make decisions about the company. The directors hold
Board meetings.
Sorry, board meetings. The director hold regular
¿Qué te
board
parece?
meetings. Thank you. Yes, it's okay.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
Bueno, directors, board del directorio. Company meetings, shareholder. Company, acuérdense, ¿quién es el dueño del company? El shareholder. So, shareholder meeting, board meetings. Company meetings, shareholders. Board meetings, directors. Yes, well done. La otra. María, what about Jay?
Wait.
Y Laura.
Jay, there are a number of matters that we must discuss. We needed to a company meeting. Sorry, we needed to convene a company meeting as soon as possible. Convene a company meeting as soon as possible.
Muy bien. María Laura, what about Kay?
Okay. All the shareholders voted by completing the voting form. This written vote is called a poll.
Well done. Yes. A poll. And Marcos, what about the last one?
Yes. Two of the shoulders became very angry during the meeting and started to shout at each other. The chairperson had to ask them to be quiet.
Yes, sí, el chairperson, el que
Los retó.
conduce la reunión.
Los retó.
Sí. Exactly. Bueno, any questions from what we've seen today or throughout the course?
No.
No? Okay, it's 3 o'clock, 3:01. We're going to stop here. And next class, we're going to finish with this unit. Yes?
Okay.
Any questions in the meantime, feel free
No.
to send me an email
Okay.
or to write to me or whatever. Yes, but otherwise, I'll see you next Wednesday. I hope you have a nice
Bye.
rest of the week.
Thank you. Bye.
Good week.
All the
Bye.
best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye bye.
Have a nice
week.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.